Welcome back at episode 39. So in last week's video you saw me do that welding of the patch on the top of the box section in that front wheel arch. That's all finished now, and in this video what I'm going to do is do the last part of welding in that wing, which is I guess it's the bottom of the suspension mount, a bit more structural, and we both know that I'm no welder, so it may not be pretty but it will be strong. In other news, I've also had the steering rack back. That's been away and been reconditioned, so that's in a box ready to go back on. And I feel like we're actually turning a corner again, and it can't be far away now until the suspension's all back in, the engine pops in, and we drive off down the road happily. Maybe it's a little bit further away than I think. But anyway, let's jump into this video and I'll show you how I got on. Right, well I'm pretty happy with the this plate that I've welded in there. I've sprayed it with zinc primer just to sort of keep it covered up. As I said on the previous one, I've not ground down this weld on the top there to keep it super strong. It was a bit of a tatty looking weld, but it is secure, so that's the main thing. What I did originally was make this plate, if I can fit this in, it fits in here. Now my concern with this plate, I could just weld it in and it'd probably be okay. Looking at the stress sort of point, it comes down here, and on the other side it flows down and joins down here. Basically this is this whole area here. I don't have a piece of paper to sort of show you. It comes down and welds on here, and it's I guess it gets its strength just by not being bent, which is my concern with the plate that I've made here is that it's bent. So any forces are just going to act upon this and bend it more. So what I want to do is basically replace this bit and create a new one. So I've started doing it here. And I'm going to butt weld it, but with this. I'm not going to try and run a bead along there or seam. I'm going to put lots of spot welds, and I'm just working it out now what to do, exactly how big to make it. So I'll let you watch me do that. I've cut this card too short. Actually, what I can do is. I think that's pretty good. And then from the other side, what I was worried about was how do I protect it and make sure that there's not rot going on in there. From the other side, I can squirt wax on things in. Now the interesting bit is this bit. This is sheet metal that I'm not going to solve. That is I guess a third skin, well, a second skin to this side. There's on the other side there's sort of like a folded piece of metal that obviously provides a lot of strength, and then on this side there's this piece which the suspension sits in, and then there's a second skin on the back side of it. Now you can see I'm bending it there, it's very thin, and it was basically just mirroring it. I can't repair that, and that's pretty much where the rot happened. I can't get to it to repair it, so I'm just going to leave it there. But from the other side, I'm going to flood the whole area with Waxol or Underseal or the equivalent, so nothing can get in there. It'll just be basically all the way down under here will be solid with Underseal or whichever it is. So I think it will be secure and sort of rot free. Right, so I've saved you the boredom of watching me cut a piece of metal. I just did it outside. Let's change the light over so we can see what we're doing. Right, so this is the bit I've cut. I've left it a bit big. Okay, so I'm going to have to sort of hammer that down there. This is the edge I'm looking for. I'm going to pick that edge up and make sure it sort of fits neatly here. And then basically I want it to weld in just above this piece here. So it's the correct height, depth, what we're going to call it. I need to sort of roll this a bit so I can get that the right shape. I might be able to just sort of dress it a little bit now. Just a little bit. We both know that I'm going to end up with the same shape I've got here, this stupid thing. But anyway. So, although it probably looks exactly the same, what I've got now, I've been really trimming and very carefully doing this edge. And I've just cut some, I don't know if you can see them against the light, some slits in here to allow me to fold over this. It's quite a complicated shape. Well, it's got some bends. And I can't just fold it straight. So I've cut some slits in and just started to fold them over. That's because this plate, as you'll see on the other side, it kind of comes down like that. And obviously, when I've spot welded there, I just bend it slightly so it's a bit just sort of curved. But this end nips down onto the this piece of metal here, so I need to bend it quite abruptly, which I've just put those sort of little pinch points in to allow that. But we're definitely getting there. I mean, we're not far off now. Right, definitely getting this into a bit more of the shape I was after. So that fits really neatly along that edge there. I could sort of spot all the way along there. I've just dressed this end a little bit, which most of it I'm going to leave until it's actually sort of welded across the top. The bottom now lines up as well, so I can run weld straight across the bottom there. It's not quite level, but I don't think it's a big deal. And then the two ends, this I've sort of cut and dressed a little bit. I think that'll be okay. This I've not cut any marks in sort of to allow it to sort of bend, fold over. I don't know if I need to or not. I possibly will. I think I can get the grinder in there. Yeah, I can get the cutter in there anyway. So I'll probably do that after I've welded it on, tacked it on. It's not looking too bad, but I'm a lot happier about this sort of this strength down here. I think that'll be much better than what I had before with a fold in it. So yeah, I'm feeling good about that bit. So I've gone ahead and tacked that in with just 2 welds, those top 2 points, mainly to check that it all fits correctly. I'm actually really happy how it's fitting. This side I'm going to dress a bit more with a hammer. This side, again, you know, I will hammer it in. I'm going to run a few tacks across there, a few spot welds sort of thing around. But it's coming down here really well. I think it looks quite good. It looks like it's solid. It is comparable with the other side, so I'm really happy with that. I got a bit carried away and started tacking without recording anything. So being fairly happy with the shape, what I'm doing is just spot welding it in. I'm still going to work these 2 edges in a bit more. Certainly along the bottom and along the top is pretty good fit, so I'm just sort of different technique this time. I'm going to spot weld it in and then join up the spot welds, and whether I do a sequence of spot welds or run a sort of a continuous weld between them, I don't know yet. I'm going to see how I feel. But yeah, just sort of putting spot welds along until I get the plate in pretty secure, and then I'll start dressing these ends in. Right, that is it tacked all the way around now. What I'm going to do is just sort of inspect it around, make sure it's really solid, and then we'll start the process of sort of joining these up. I'm not going to rush it today. I just want to sort of go over it, make sure it's really solid. I can get my camera in from the back side of it and have a little look. Right, I'm just pinching this part in with the clamp because I can't get it to sort of pull tight to the car. So I'm just going to pull it in and sort of spot it a couple of times. A few spot welds are at either side, and then I can run a weld around it. And one the other side. Alright, I guess that shows it was holding it. Let's just feel. Yeah, okay, that's nice. I like to make sure it's actually holding it in. Right, I'll just join those couple of spot welds up. That's better. Very smoky as usual. You notice I've ground this one down. I may run along it again. I mean, it's pretty secure, but I much prefer a weld like this where it looks a lot more solid. I'll just do that one on the other side. Right. And to me, these are quite nice sort of solid welds. Some of the other ones, it's been sort of coughing and spitting a little bit. I don't know whether it's a bad earth. Maybe I've got the wire speed too slow. I've sped up a little bit now, so there's a bit more material coming out. Either way, we're getting there slowly. There's quite a nice sort of solid patch in there now. Maybe a little bit too much material. I was going quite slow, but again, I favour solidity. Okay, let's move over the other side. It's slowly stitching up between the spot welds that I've done. Okay, it's not looking too bad. Not sure tapping does anything, but it makes me feel better. Right, looking good there. I've done this in a number of sections, obviously. I still need to do a little bit more at the top. It's got a bigger gap to cover there. The plate doesn't fit quite tight to the wall, so I'm going to come back to that side when it's cooled down a little bit. So on this side there's just a couple of little bits left. A run across the top. I need to do a spot welds because the gap's a bit big there, a little tiny bit there, and then we should be done. There we go. Right, so I'm going to get in there properly and have a look over it, grind it down so we can see what we've done, but we have welds all the way around it. Okay, but I'm pretty happy with that. It seems like, in terms of structurally, I think it's really good, it's solid. I should better get my endoscope camera thing on the other side so we can have a look in the back of the weld. I'm going to try and do that now, because I think that'd be quite interesting. Okay, well that's it for this week. Welding is done. As I said at the beginning, I'm not a welder. I don't think it's too bad. I mean, yes, it looks pretty messy, but I've ground off the top of the welds just to make them look a little bit tidier. I've not ground off that much, so I don't want to remove the strength. They are straight through, they're penetrated well. I've had my endoscope on the inside so I can see what's going on. I'm happy with that. I've sprayed it with zinc primer for the minute just to stop it rusting. Job I need to do in the future is to actually drill a hole in and spray Waxol all down the inside of that, the cross member and the back of the plate that I've put in. But I'll do that probably maybe next week. So hopefully that's the last time I need to don the helmet and gloves and do welding, which is actually a lie because I'm going to buy a welder myself. This is a friend's one I've borrowed. I'm going to buy one, and I know there's going to be more welding on the car. I actually really enjoyed it, so I want to learn how to do it really well and sort of push that. Okay, so wrapping up, the welding's done. We can start putting things back together. I'm actually debating taking the wings off at the moment. There's a couple of plates up at the top of the wings that I'm going to remove and just have a look. What I want to check is if there's any corrosion up the top there, and I'm wondering why the water got in. So I can see a couple of sort of rotten bits on these wings where it's probably trickling down. I want to investigate that a bit further, because if I don't do it now, no one's ever going to do it. So debate taking the wings off, which means taking the front bumper off, which is this usual journey of everything comes off. I really want to look at the bottom of the windscreen and see what's there. Taking the wing off would allow me to sort of look under the scuttle a little bit. But I may be able to do that with my endoscope camera thing. So if I do that, I'll post some videos, you can see what I see. Anyway, as ever, thank you for watching. Please click the subscribe button, and I'll see you next week.